following. When you spend 15 minutes explaining to a large Latino family that you've just removed a tampon from a small bowel of their mentally challenged nephew, I recommend that you actually triple check that you're talking to them. Forms of identification. For the incoming interns, during morning rounds, the linen hamper on E3 can also function as a convenient nemesis base. Disclosures, there will be many. I really have two goals for this talk. I'd like to cry less than GW, and I'd like to swear less than SW. So first patient, GF, this is a 33-year-old gentleman, I use that term loosely, from Chicago. He's 33, he is unmarried, he has no kids, he earns only slightly more than most people. If you do the math, he drives the single most ridiculous car in Northern California. He's moving back in with his parents. Only for 1 week, thank God. In short, this is not a gentleman who has much going for him. About a year ago, though, he thought that things had turned the corner, something was finally going right. He'd been told that he was going to be one of the chief residents at a prestigious academic institution in Northern California. He was very excited. Then he received his business card. He was actually the chief resident for this institution. And frankly, the prognosis is quite grim. The next patient is GW, visualized here in his native habitat. He's a 34-year-old gentleman transferred from an outside hospital. The nickname for him is Fluffy, presumably to celebrate his lush and lustrous head of hair. On physical exam by math, he's approximately... laboratory studies noted for galactic levels that were actually higher than any obtained last year. Social history, his apartment actually consists largely of pizza boxes, cans, and Apple products. A couple other items on social history. The military recently almost sent him to Japan, presumably in recognition of and he really has demonstrated tremendous commitment to care not only of patients, but also their families. While her father is, in fact, still on press release. Next is TM. Visualized here. He's a 35-year-old gentleman who is on the 8-year plan. Physical exam was run for serous dorsalis. Also interesting physical exam, he appeared incapable of reading textbooks unless his shirt was off. We had Zellinger's atlas there, actually, by his side. On review of systems, he admitted to an interest in cardiac surgery. Accordingly, psychiatry and social work consults were he also admitted to a significant exposure to sheep. He's in fact the only tall Vietnamese man I know who leaves voicemail messages like an inner city street. Most begins with the words either holla or playa. He is also the only tall Vietnamese man I know. We actually met for the first time at an OUS support group meeting. He was the Vaus, the Vietnamese of unusual size. I was the token Joust from Northern California, in fact. Next patient is NK, seen here. She's a 34-year-old woman from the Midwest. She was a former Stanford medical student, thus making it particularly interesting that she has hated nearly every Stanford medical student. She dances like a dream, and she will be outstandingly prepared for her fellowship in colorectal surgery, as she has spent the last 5 years surrounded by asses. Next patient is he's actually seen here as well. National Advertising Campaign. Actually, the slogan for this was discontinued. Why? This is a 36-year-old gentleman who has not left Stanford since 1993. He has not been on time to anything since 1993. He barely showed up. This is a photograph of him at this very moment. He, on physical exam, actually has the most infectious laugh known to science. Interestingly, his voice also goes up 2 octaves. In patients, on laboratory studies, he's shortly going to be transferred to Johns Hopkins, where he will be picking up Dr. Halstead's scalpel and Dr. Halstead's crack pipe. Last in this series is MK. He's seen here. He's a 36-year-old transfer from an outside hospital in Philadelphia. Only one of the following 3 statements about MK is true. He once lost $3,500 in under 10 minutes, actually, on a riverboat casino. In high school, he played guitar in a hair band called Joe Mama Hernandez and the Twinkies of Lust. There is absolutely nothing funny about it. I wanted to put this to a vote, but what do you do with it? Bethany, best of luck on Friday night. What is true is that he is the only member of this case series who has successfully acquired a spouse, which might explain some of the data presented on the following graph. You'll notice there's an outlier on this graph. We sent this to our analysts, and the best explanation was that my class has found a general surgery residency to be an extremely effective form of contraception. Secondary really only to our personalities. We'll move on to the literature review section. I should note the next couple of slides do contain a small amount of vulgarity. I was fairly certain there weren't going to be any children in the room because my class is sterile.